Hi, I'm Meg. I'm a super tutor with a 4.98 rating.
Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing okay. Today, I wanted to talk ratings with you. It's something that affects all of us, some more so than others. It affects our priority hour access, it affects our self-esteem, and it can affect the way students see us. So, what are some things we can do to improve our ratings? So, rating is just a number, but it's a big number for a lot of us. And it affects how we get our priority hours and how we get our students. So the question is, what can we do to improve our situation? For me, there are some things that I do, and it's helped me find my audience, meet my audience's needs, and ensure that they're learning and that they appreciate it. So hey, Meg, what's the secret recipe? How do we get those 5s? It's not that hard. Let me tell you what's worked for me. 1, a consistent appearance and setup. 2, being attentive and engaging. 3, also knowing your audience is the biggest important thing you can do. Okay, appearance and setup. You want to teach from a place that is free of distractions, because this world is a distracting place, and these kids, these adults, these students are paying money to sit with you and focus with you. So you got to make sure, 1, your lighting is good. If your lighting is dark, you can look like a raccoon. If your lighting is wrong, your face is not clear. So it's good to have lighting from in front so they can see your full face. They can see how you're saying things. They can focus on your mouth movements to help them create the same sounds. Having a place that has no distractions will definitely help create an environment where the student values your work. Some companies are set up with the market all figured out. You already know your students. You already know your classes. You already know the material. You know how to meet the needs in that classroom. But here in Cambly, the world is your market. How do you figure out what you're going to teach and who you're going to teach? This is where having a specialty or a niche comes in play. Okay, so how do you figure out what you're going to teach? First, what excites you? If you are not interested in the material, you're not going to enjoy the class. It's going to come through on camera. Second, what is your expertise? What can you teach them? Sometimes your expertise and your passion line up. Sometimes they don't. So you have to be aware of how you present your material in order to engage the student and benefit from. Think about also your past teaching experience. What have you taught well? What have you struggled at? If you avoid the things that you struggle with and focus on the things you do well, then you're more likely going to have a very successful session. Next, let's talk about our audience and our teaching style. We want to make sure they line up, because if you have a teaching style that's too energetic for your audience, it is not going to bode well for your rating. Okay, so what are some things you can teach on Cambly? Basically anything. But business English is really important to a lot of our adult customers. We also have career-specific English, test preparation like IELTS and TOEFL. These are also very big markets. Pronunciation guidance, and also age-specific or interest-specific teaching. Teaching small children, teaching teenagers, teaching high school or university students, teaching specific content. Are you teaching phonics? Are you teaching grammar? Are you teaching literature? Are you talking current events? Are you giving guidance in public speaking? These are all different specialties that you can have. Also, the first language of your learner, of your student. If you have experience in a language like Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, you can reach that student and help them on a little more basic level, especially if they're beginners. And this can be something that can be very helpful in finding the target student. Okay, next is attentiveness and engagement. This one is really important because if you start looking away, your eyes are going places, maybe you're like this, maybe you're looking for a problem, maybe you're looking for a resource, but they see that as, I'm not paying attention, I'm not listening to you, I've got other things to do, and that's not cool. They want to feel that you're just as invested as they are. They have financially invested themselves in these classes. They have committed themselves to this session with you. They're in essence paying good quality money to have a good quality session with you. And the best thing I can do is give them my full attention. Treat this like a real 100% in-person job. Like they are in front of me and I am not going to slack off. And that's really helped me. Being fully attentive and just being present in the moment with them, making eye contact with the camera and not myself. Because if I look at myself, this is what they see. So when I look at the camera, I'm giving them eye contact. And that really helps them. They really feel that connection. A lot of the session, I might not really see the student because I'm focused here. I glance over, I see them, I go back. And it really helps. Slow down. Enunciate. Emotively enunciate. They're getting nonverbal cues as well as verbal cues from you. And when I talk with students, I use my hands. Naturally, I speak with my hands, and some cultures do it more so than others. But it is a form of nonverbal communication that helps students understand what you're saying, and it makes you more visibly interesting. And that's always good. So, talking with our hands is one good way that I do in all my classes, even with adults, to get them to be engaged, to follow me, to hear what I'm saying, and to also help communicate little tidbits that might be a little more difficult. It gives them a visual cue to go with the word. Also, when I give corrections, I try to give a written correction because it puts a timestamp on their notes. They can see the correction in their notes, go forward, go backward in their session to review and see that correction in real time in their recording. So giving a written correction with the verbal correction really helps reinforce. And when you've got lesson plans and you've got those slides, we see them and they see them in the classroom, but in the recording, they don't. They only see me, they only see you. So anytime you can hold something up, you can give them a prop, you can screen share, they get the screen share after. Those little things really help them in the long run when it comes to reviewing their sessions. So, you know, if you underline, if you circle on the slide, that helps them in the class, but it doesn't help them after. So writing that correction down gives them a chance to see that correction, or maybe that sentence they're having trouble with on the slide. Write that sentence down so they have it in their corrections. Doing this adds a lot of value to the session after the fact. And that can really help you get repeat students that come back to you because you give them the support they need in the session and after so they can study as well. Feedback for the student is really important in the process. You know, giving feedback in the class, oh, you did a really good job with that, you said that well. That really helps boost student experience and confidence in the session. Even if the student is a lower level English student, they need that extra confidence boost in the session to really get them going forward. I cannot show any frustration with anything going on with my student. Even if it's a young student and they're misbehaving, you know, this too shall pass. Giving and getting student feedback is important. Giving student feedback gives them more value-added experience. And it can be as simple as, hey, you did a good job in class today. We talked about this and this, you did this very well. Now, if you need another resource, here's something to help you with simple present versus simple continuous. Something like that can really help a student get a good impression from you that you are invested in these just as much as they are. It Just takes a couple minutes of your time after class and they get a nice warm and fuzzy from it. I never ask my students for 5s because that can definitely backfire. Even though they're my regulars, I don't want to step on their toes and have an expectation from them. So instead, I would rather ask them for constructive feedback in a way where they feel like they're giving me insight, they're giving me value. I will ask, what did you enjoy about our session? What did you like about it? And then I'll ask, is there anything that you'd like to focus on next time? Or is there anything that you think could be better for you to have a better learning experience? What can I do to improve the class for next time? And things like this, you're giving them a voice to give you specific feedback to tailor your next class to meet their needs to reach that 5. Okay, so you've found your target audience. You've got the best formula for how you can teach your students. You give them great feedback and corrections. You give them visual support, nonverbal communication. You give them eyes. You give them your attention. You've got a great setup with lighting, it's free of distractions. These are all the things that have helped me create a nice, consistent, stable rating because I consistently give these students this experience. And I value their feedback in a positive way. Sometimes I might hear something that I don't like. Hey, that's life. I can't manage their expectations. But when they give me their expectations and it doesn't line up with what I'm giving, I adjust my approach and things are better in the future. And doing this has helped me keep a consistent rating, and hopefully, maybe something I've said today can help you too. All right, thanks so much for listening. See you next time.